block East Maple, where they had a 2 control buys and buying 100 bags each time. We recovered 2 handguns, and that male is in jail on $100,000 bail. He did not live on the 100 block of East Maple, but he did live in the Borough. And lastly, our police discharge over the weekend. Going back, what I talked about months ago, about putting my officers in danger by people leaving their cars running. This is what I was talking about. All right? Now I have a kid in the hospital with a bullet hole in his chest. And I have an officer that got hurt. I got to plead to everybody that this has to stop. They have to not leave their vehicles running. Officer Pitcher did a very good job that morning. He's okay. He should be cleared by Friday. He'll be seeing the psychologist tomorrow and requalifying on Thursday with his handgun. And I'm hoping to have him back to work immediately. And by the way it looks, the defendant will be released tomorrow from the hospital, hopefully. And at that point, he'll be charged accordingly by the district attorney's office. And we'll move on. So that is it. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Any comments on either the mayor's report or the police chief's report? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to mention to the mayor, please. This is your comments regarding spending extra money for our solicitor are budget, and I'd like the harassment to stop. We're not spending any more money, and the issue with regards to the co-stars, that was not the only thing that held us up, and we did it as quickly and fast as we could.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Wait.
No, I haven't. I'm not going to hear the bickering here. You want me to chair the meeting?
Well,
I'm not-
something to say.
No, you don't right now. You can talk later.
Well, I'd like to at least say something.
Not right now. We're moving on. At the end of the meeting, council will have a chance to say each and everything they want. We're going to talk about what's on this agenda right now.
Well, that's what we're working
All
on.
right,
I have a
motion.
question for the manager report from
Oh, the
Bob
manager.
Seward,
Yes, go ahead.
please. Really? All right, on Bob's report, he has working on the 2015 CDBG agreement with Williamson Park for the accessible bathroom improvement for the existing concession stand. Did we actually pick that to go there to start that now?
Last year we did. We have to be ahead of the curve in order to be ready, so when we get their notice, which only gave us 2 weeks to have a project done, we send it in, we're done. They vote on it next month, March 3rd, I believe. If we don't have these projects a year ahead of time, we don't get a project.
The only reason I'm asking is because even when we did that last year, we're now in the middle of doing like a plan on what to do with that park. I didn't know it was actually picked. It was definitely by the council saying, yeah, we want it there and not move anywhere else.
This is a small concession stand.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
one is sitting there. Yeah.
Correct, yeah, no. We brought this up last year. We asked Borough Council what project they wanted. You authorized the engineer to work on it, give us bid specs, and then we handed it in.
Yeah, because it was turned down last year because it wasn't enough. It was what they had said. That's why I was surprised we did it again in the same spot without knowing whether we're making it bigger or.
You wouldn't have time. You only had 12 days to get a project in. They've asked us to submit this project,
Again.
CDBG.
So it's going to stay exactly the same size, exactly the same. Everything we did last year is we're just resubmitting it back in.
No, last year we submitted the storm drain. That was 2 years ago. We're always a year ahead for CDBG. So when they tell us that they want the project scope of work and description, we hand it in. If you don't, you wouldn't have enough time in 12 days to get a project down. You guys vote on it and then have the engineer give us an estimate of cost. That's why now I need a project for next year, which I would like to have the old Tony Goes into a dual ADA bathroom with maybe a family restroom also.
Okay.
I think it's large enough, but this is why, once we get this off and done, then I'll come back and ask council for our next project for the following year. If you authorize that, then we'll do some preliminary measurements, some preliminary pricing. So when we go in for 2016, when they say, okay, now you have 10 days to submit a project, we take it off the shelf and we put it in. You always have to have a project on the shelf. If not, you're never going to get a project approved because you don't have enough time.
Yeah, I'm just surprised with the price because I knew what they had said before. I didn't know whether after going through that you would get it approved at that amount, only because what was stated before.
That was the only product that we had on the shelf because of the project we did with the storm drain, which was $94,000.
Okay, right.
So hopefully this is going to bring up our
So we're-
ADA compliance, and that end of the park is what I was looking for, which I can't imagine that we would, hopefully, that we're not going to be turned down to make it ADA compliant, and then go along with the other one.
All right, thanks for explaining that.
Anything else on the mayor's?
The other question on it, on the bathroom is there an actual floor plan we can review? To see what the thing's gonna look like?
The actual floor plan, I mean, have you been into the bathroom, Tom?
Well, I mean, I thought it was a concession stand. You're gonna convert that into a bathroom?
No,
or-
you have the concession stand, and then you have a small bathroom that's been there for probably 12, 15 years.
All right.
Please stop in my office, and I'll be more than happy to show you the print. It's gonna be just an ADA bathroom with one ADA toilet.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to clarify something. Briefly, I'd just like to say I stand behind everything I said. I think it's sad when I explain something that happened behind the scenes that the council president would say that's harassment. The fact of the matter is, there was legal fees to prove that the vendor was customers.
That's enough, let's move on to the next subject. They didn't hire us to come up here and pick a day.
No, it's bickering. I'm clarifying it. Evidently, the council president is not
Yeah, I
understanding.
am, well,
You're on the policy committee, so I do.
yeah, well, we'd be glad to discuss your opinions.
Well, no, I'm not giving an opinion.
Right.
I'm saying, I'm asking the policy committee to address these issues.
We're going to the finances now. Motion to pay the bills, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any question or comments on the bills? You wanna read them out? You usually do.
General fund, $29,142.52. Street lighting fund, $23.76. Library fund, $1,669.04. Recreation fund, $118.87. Street fund, $644.17. State highway fund, $10,342.61 for total of $68,617.43.
You've heard them, any questions or comments? Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner.
Yes.
Ms. Sherlock.
Yes,
Passes 8-0. Motion to approve the resolution authorizing the borough to enter into a lease with option to purchase agreement for the lease of 3 police vehicles.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on these 3 police vehicles? Roll call vote.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner.
Yes.
And Ms. Sherlock.
yes,
Well, this is the same subject, but I guess we need 2 motions on this. A motion to direct the borough manager to execute the agreement for the lease of 3 police vehicles from the municipal capital finance. Municipal capital finance. So here a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Just a roll call vote.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
and Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
8D, a motion to approve payment of $133.85 to John Thompson for a tax appeal refund as per documentation from Pat Cordash, Morrisville Borough Tax Collector, dated December 12, 2014. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on this? None? I'll hear a roll call vote.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes?
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronic.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
and Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
Unfinished business, 9A. Motion to approve the amendment to the floodplain management ordinance, chapter 195 of the Borough Code.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes?
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
Going on with unfinished business, 9D. A motion to approve the ordinance repealing chapter 189, firearms in its entirety, and amending chapter 305, parks and recreation areas, to remove certain regulations of the possession and discharge of firearms. This is a subject we're advised to participate in because of recent state legislation. You want to comment, Stan?
Just real quick, Councilor Cicero. Yes, the General Assembly, the end of last session, signed by Governor Corbett, gave third parties, such as the NRA and others, the ability to sue a municipality if they had an ordinance or regulation in place that may preempt the state firearms law. Thus, we advise Morrisville and all our municipal clients, in abundance of caution, to go ahead and repeal any ordinance related to regulation of firearms that weren't explicitly located in state law. The reason being is, what could happen is if the NRA or somebody else sought to sue the borough and they were successful, a judge could and would award legal fees against the borough. Thus, we would fund the lawsuit against us. So it was our recommendation to look at our ordinances, and that's what we did. We also received a letter from an attorney, I believe in the center part of the state, questioning some portion of Morrisville's firearms law. So at that point, we prodded on and got this ordinance in place.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes?
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
We have here a motion to proceed with the closing of the Henry S. Williamson Trust Fund per the recommendation of Wells Fargo Philanthropic Services.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, discussion or recommendations.
I'd like to have it tabled, so that we can at least come up with something that we can put another motion with it to determine where it's going, before we go ahead and close it out.
I second that.
Some motion.
Oh, sorry.
You made a motion.
He made a motion to table, we have to vote on that tabling motion.
Oh.
Let me roll call vote on the table.
Mr. Cicero,
Yes?
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Sanford,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
All right, tabling doesn't mean that we're not gonna discuss this, or that this motion is finished, but we need, I think the council feels there's a little more information and the legal background of what we can do with this. 10B, a motion to approve the Winterfest Parade for Saturday, December 5th, 2015. I assume using a route agreed upon by the Winterfest Committee and Police Chief McClay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the Morrisville Little League Baseball Opening Day Parade, Saturday, March 28th, 2015, using the previously approved route. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 10D, a motion to approve the Morrisville Yardley Rotary Club Easter Egg Hunt, Saturday, March 28, 2015, in Williamson Park. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Appointments. Number 1, Zoning Hearing Board, 1 3-year appointment as an alternate member to expire on February 17, 2018. FYI, Suzanne Zakowski's term expires on February 17th, today, 2015.
Make a motion to appoint Suzanne Zakowski.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Will the secretary cast a ballot, please? There were no other nominations, Sue?
That's right. Who was the second, Smith?
Yes. Next appointment is the Planning Commission. That means that Suzanne Zakowski is reappointed to the board. Planning Commission, 1 4-year appointment to expire on December 31st, 1918. Appointment to fill the vacant position that expired 12/31/14. Any nominations? Go ahead. I have a nomination, Kurt Kelly. I believe he sent in a,
Yes. Letter of intent, yes.
yeah.
And you know him? I mean, you know of him?
Yes.
And how he found out? Because it's just that he was recently informed. So we don't, is this like these positions on our website?
No.
No.
Never advertised.
Actually, no, I looked today, because there had been, I noticed that it had been listed as vacant, and so I double checked on the website to see if it had been advertised, and it hasn't been, so, once again, I'd like to know where this name came out of.
I said, it's a nice letter of intent he put in, but I don't know who he is.
So it was.
I have no idea either, and it wasn't advertised, so I don't know how the public, anybody else in the public would even know that it was vacant, even.
You told him, he said,
No, I didn't tell him.
well, somebody did, just said, his letter states, I was recently informed. So if it wasn't from our website, somebody told him, so somebody.
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
The zoning board does not advertise either. No, advertises the issue.
But
Says
the
who?
zoning board, reappointment.
All right, we have a vacancy, and there is a nomination.
Can we table this in,
It advertised on the website. Come back,
Is there a motion to table?
motion to table.
Call the roll.
Mr. Cicero,
No.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Sanford,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kerner,
Yes.
and Ms. Sherlock.
No.
Excuse me. Would she say no?
Mr. Cicero, I just want to, just for clarification, did we vote on the zoning hearing board? I think,
It's
why
just,
don't we just go ahead and vote on affirming Ms. Zakowski's?
Okay.
okay.
I'll make another motion that we appoint Suzanne Zakowski, the zoning hearing board for 1 3-year appointment.
You have a motion on the table right now.
Yeah, but we went on to another motion, so I think we should probably go back.
You reopen that motion. Go ahead. Is there a second? You seconded it?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
No opposed. 8-0.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Sure.
I just want to say with all due respect to this, Mr. Curtis Kelly, I don't want him to think that, you know, we're just like, we don't want to recognize it. I appreciate him sending in this, this letter of intent, absolutely. I just wasn't sure how anyone else would have known, but it is no disrespect to him whatsoever for wanting to throw his hat in the ring and be on one of our boards, so thanks to him.
10F, the motion to recommend that all minutes of Morrisville Borough Council meetings use the guidelines of the Sunshine Law. That law being Pennsylvania Sunshine Act as amended June 30th, 2011, number 56. PL 729, number 93. 65 PA CSA 701 et sequitur.
So moved.
You want me to read what it says?
Yes.
So you know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Minutes of meetings, public records, and recording of minutes, of meetings, rather. Written minutes shall be kept of all open meetings of agencies. The minutes shall include the date and time and place of the meeting, the names of the members present, the substance of all official actions, and a record by individual member of the roll call votes taken, the names of all citizens who appeared officially, and the subject of their testimony. That is a requirement of the state law on the minutes of a meeting.
So you're saying you don't want to do anything verbatim, so if someone wants.
That's essentially what the state law says, you don't have to.
Right. So then that means anybody that wanted a statement in there, because what's happened previously is you'll have somebody from council was getting a statement put in and other council weren't. That's what the problem was. Then we started to put everybody's in there.
Well,
It has to have a statement added to the minutes. So we're not doing any of that?
I think,
Anybody, is what you're saying?
Why are we doing that?
what you can do, which is what is done in some places, is to put in something in writing that you think should be added, something that you have said, if you feel it should be made. But we're talking about the actual transcription of minutes by a transcriber.
Mhm.
But the only thing that is necessary under the state law are the items I read, the 4 items,
Mhm.
which is the way it was usually done. I don't know, that has changed over the several years. We had a motion in a second, didn't we?
I made a motion, but no one seconded it.
No one seconded it?
Second.
All right, seconded.
Now we can really discuss it.
On discussion, I'd like to say
Sure.
something, thank you. I did find it interesting, a few months ago I asked when and why it changed. They were kind of condensed, then we went to more of a verbatim. The way I take it, it looks like they want to get the minutes more condensed, but, and they both are legal, there's not a question of that. It's just interesting that I had asked why, but I have to kind of chime in with Ms. Smith when she says, what if you want something? I believe, and I'd like council to kind of let me know their feelings if this is what's intended. The minutes, if this passes, will be smaller, but any elected official, I would think, would have the right to add something, either have a document added or call Borough Hall and say, please add this statement. I mean, that's sort of what we do now. If we feel something's missed, we correct it. So I just would like a little clarification if that's what we're looking to do.
I know, some of us like our words memorialized. If you,
Can you explain that comment, please?
yeah, we wanted to go down in history as to what we said here, the pearls of wisdom that drops from our mouths. I too have that affliction. However,
You say it more gracefully.
in the interest of saving time and space, you know, we had a 55-page minute document. To me, that's absurd. I know what people say is important to them. But the truth of the matter is, 5 minutes from now, it isn't going to mean anything. It's when you say yes or no, or vote, that's what counts. I know you think it's important, I'm sorry, it's my opinion. Now,
And that's important.
yeah, but I know, I don't care if you write it down, I really don't.
No, I was just looking for clarification if somebody wanted to have something.
To condense the minutes into some reasonable form. And if you want to add something, you say, those minutes don't really reflect what I was feeling, then write something.
And we're back to where we were before. That's what it comes down to.
That's only if you vote for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
If you vote against it.
You ready? You ready for roll call? Everybody have their say here? Okay, Tom, roll call.
Mr. Cicero.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford. No. Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Carter.
Yes.
And Ms. Sherlock.
Yes.
This is
Seven,
page
eight.
one now. All right, I have no announcements. Anybody have announcements? And then we're gonna have discussion by the free-for-all here.
One quick announcement.
The mayor's speaking first. Go ahead, Dave.
Thank you. A local photographer, Kelly Raines, and I
One thing.
are having a Frozen themed community photo shoot this Sunday. That's February 22nd. It's at the Amherst Squad, 139 North Washington Street, from 11 to 3. There is a fee if you want digital photograph. It's $5 for 3, and I believe they're going to be emailed to whoever wants them. There's also other vendors. There's Morrisville Zone, Morrisville Suites, and just to make sure everybody understands that it is a public community event, and the proceeds are going to the senior center and the ambulance squad. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
I just have two things. I think Chief is still sitting back there. I just want to say thank you for being here and really doing everything you've been doing for our police department to get it back on track. I think they appreciate it, and I know the town does. And thank you and your officers for all that you do for us.
Thank you for your support.
And also, I'd like to also thank the borough workers, because we've been seeing snow come, seems like every other day. And I happened to be up when one of the trucks came whizzing by at like 2 o'clock in the morning, so they're up at wee hours to be out there plowing on these nights. So they've done a good job, and thank them for it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to bring up the fact that, I would like to ask. Turn your mic on.
Can't hear you, Ted.
I had it off. I'd just like to remind council that, texting certain members of council about things that are possibly being removed or added to the agenda should not continue. We have an official Outlook email. I would like any communications through email and not through my personal phone.
And anything else? You have something to say, Michelle?
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Just a couple things. One, regarding the minutes, obviously, I don't think the intent was that no one would be able to, hand in a copy of the statement. That wasn't the intent. But I will say that if it's a statement, if I take the statement, it has to be a statement that will be put in as it's handed over to Mr. Bates. Number two, all changes need to be in a week before the meeting. We can't have them coming in Thursday, Friday before the meeting. That you're gonna go wrong up. And also, Virginia is already preparing the agenda notification to be advertised. And, I'd like to say a thank you to our EDC, or Environmental Development Corporation, and the Morrisville Rotary for the wayfinding signs that are along the canal, that were recently, put there. And last, I will not take up the council for the public time regarding any sort of argument with our mayor, but I am upset that, it does continue to come to the conversation, and I'll be happy to have a timeline of the entire, beginning to end of this lease agreement. I'll write it up and it will be for public knowledge, whoever wants to see it, all emails and so forth. And that's, my final say. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? I'd like to thank you all for attending. I'll hear a motion to adjourn, and I have to talk to you, Jane, I have to remind you of things that you said to me.
We need a vote, adjournment.
Vote for adjournment.
Corinne made a motion, I seconded it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
He wants to talk to you, Gene. You must pick him off.
I do.